Have you ever wondered why so many religious figures have halos above their heads? The shocking answer goes deeper than you think. Every one of these paintings features the mysterious halo. Jesus, Buddha, various saints throughout history. You may have heard that halos represent enlightenment, but the truth goes much deeper than that. And in this short video, I'll reveal how this halo effect is the key to tapping into limitless abundance from the universe. But I can tell you right now, it has nothing to do with the law of attraction, religious prayers, or what time you were born. But instead, it has everything to do with harnessing the power of light waves. Because as modern scientists now know, light waves are actually invisible energy fields. Energy fields that ancient Tibetan monks used to directly connect with the abundance of the universe. The good news is, thanks to a recent update in their method, any human alive today can manifest unlimited abundance effortlessly. And while I'm sure you're at least a little bit skeptical right now, all doubt will be erased once I reveal the Kailash mountain mystery in this short video. It involves a wild story where the universe guides me to meet a mysterious monk at an abandoned monastery. This story gets a little personal, so I should probably introduce myself real quick. Hi, my name is Paul Hammond, and I'll be honest, I'm not sure why the universe chose me to share this urgent information with you. I'm not a guru or anything. I'm not particularly smart. In fact, I'd say most of my life has been pretty unremarkable up until just recently. I grew up in a quiet suburban neighborhood in Connecticut. I went to college after high school, but after changing my major 4 times, I finally decided to drop out and get a job in town selling insurance. It was a steady job and came with decent benefits, so I stuck with it for 12 years. Then one day I got a notice that the company I worked for had been acquired, and that the new owners were laying off the entire sales staff. As it turns out, AI is making insurance salesmen obsolete. And just like that, I was an unemployed man in my mid-30s, with no prospects, no real job skills, and only enough savings to survive a month at best. And it's not like I was exactly doing great before that either. I'd recently decided to start dating to find a life partner, someone I could settle down with. But the dating world is terrible and just made me feel worse. It felt like my life was circling the drain, if you will. And the worst part is, I get it. What woman would want to be with a loser like me? Hell, I didn't even know if I was going to have a place to live in a month. But just when I thought my life couldn't get any worse, it did. I was sitting on my front porch with my dog, Buddy, when he suddenly took off after a squirrel, and as Buddy chased the squirrel across the road, he was hit by a speeding pickup truck, and that was it. He was gone. My best friend killed right in front of my eyes. And that was rock bottom. With everything that happened, losing Buddy was the straw that broke the camel's back. I just sat in my house crying for 3 days, until I finally realized no one was coming to save me. If I didn't want to be evicted, I needed to figure out how to make some money, and fast. Since it was Sunday, I decided to head down to a local bookstore to browse some business books, thinking maybe I could find something to get me going. But as I was walking down one of the aisles, a book fell and landed right on my big toe. I yelped in pain and cursed the book for nearly breaking my toe. When I bent down to pick it up, I noticed it was a mysterious-looking old dusty book. It was titled The Kailash Mountain Mystery. Intrigued, I started flipping through it, but suddenly my thoughts were interrupted by a little boy's voice. "I hope you get your halo." I looked up, but he just turned around and walked away. The whole thing kind of creeped me out. I mean, what the heck did he mean by that? But there was just something about the book I couldn't quite put my finger on, so I bought it and headed home. When I started going through it, I learned that Mount Kailash is no ordinary mountain. Located in Tibet, this mountain is considered sacred in several Eastern religions. Interestingly enough, it's never been climbed by mortal humans, as it's forbidden by religious beliefs. The book also noted that some believe the mountain is actually an ancient pyramid, or a huge man-made structure, emitting mysterious energies, including powerful light and auras, which are kept hidden by the Chinese government and religious authorities. I'll tell you why this is important in just a minute. But as I got towards the end, I noticed the last few pages were torn out of the book. Instead, there was a piece of yellow notebook paper with an address on it. The address was here in Connecticut, and when I looked up, I discovered it was the address for a monastery. It was getting late, so I decided to go to bed. But I tossed and turned for hours, unable to stop thinking about that weird book and the strange comment from the kid at the bookstore. And when I finally did fall asleep, I had an intensely vivid and mysterious dream. It took place in a room so bright I had to squint my eyes to see. And when I was finally able to focus, I saw a monk standing in front of me. Shaved head, orange outfit, you know the look. The monk was smiling at me and asked, "Are you ready for your halo?" I immediately jolted awake and sat up in my bed, soaked in sweat. What was the deal with this halo stuff? Was this like some kind of warning from the Grim Reaper that my time was almost up? I was so freaked out I couldn't go back to sleep the rest of the night. The next day I looked at the address I found in the book. The monastery was just over an hour away, so I decided to hop in the car and drive down. And let's just say I was not prepared for what happened next. When I arrived, the place actually seemed abandoned. Everything was overgrown, paint was peeling, and it seemed like no one had been there in ages. But as I was exploring the property further, I suddenly heard a soft voice. "Welcome, my friend." Startled, I spun around, and at that point I'm pretty sure my jaw hit the floor. Standing right in front of me was the monk from the dream I had the night before. I guess the look on my face gave it away because he told me there was no reason to worry. He told me his name was Jinpa. Then he asked me a question that blew my socks off. "Did you get the book?" Without saying a word, I knew he was talking about the Kailash Mountain Mystery book. Astonished, I managed to stammer, How did you know?" The monk just smiled warmly and said that the universe told him I would be coming soon. And I'll be honest, I was a little freaked out by the whole thing. It felt like I was on one of those hidden camera shows or something. But I got it together and said, "The universe said I would be coming?" "Indeed," the monk said. "I've been waiting for you for years." I asked him how that's even possible. We didn't even know each other. He said the universe prompted him to place the book at that bookstore 7 years ago, that it would lead a chosen person to discover unlimited abundance, and that I was that chosen person. There's a reason the monk put his address in the place of the missing pages at the end of the book. He had a secret to share with me. You see, Tibetan monks discovered an abundance secret several thousand years ago, and it all revolves around Kailash Mountain. As it turns out, this mountain is an energy source, or portal, to another realm, and emits powerful light and auras. That's the reason it's so closely guarded and no one has ever climbed it. And this is where the ancient emperors used to go to manifest abundance from the universe. But get this, eventually they discovered that you don't need to go to the mountain to manifest the abundance of the universe, because we are all born with the ability to do this on our own. No mountain involved, which means you can replicate the mountain's powers, if you know what you're doing. Obviously, this was a massive breakthrough, but the powers that be did not want this info made public, because then they wouldn't have a stranglehold on the world's wealth. So it's been kept secret, until now. Jinpa was tired of keeping this secret from the rest of the world. It just didn't seem right, so he decided to go rogue. After all, how much better would the world be if everyone could manifest abundance into our lives, just as the universe always intended? But Jinpa didn't know who to share this incredible information with, so he let the universe handle it. He put that mysterious book in the bookstore 7 years ago, waiting for the universe to send the chosen person. And it turns out that the chosen person is me. I stared at the monk wide-eyed and overwhelmed. Why would the universe pick me? And another thing, how does this abundance secret even work? The monk smiled again and told me to have a seat. He told me the important thing to realize is that each and every one of us is born with the ability to manifest abundance into our lives. Ancient Tibetan monks discovered this thousands of years ago after studying Mount Kailash, and what they learned was centuries ahead of its time, especially with the technology of the day. The crazy thing is it all revolves around one thing everyone knows about: light. You see, humans are made up of stardust, and while stars are not composed of light particles, photons, they do emit light as a result of nuclear fusion reactions that occur in their core. So the light that we see from stars is the energy that has traveled through space. This is key because light is how the universe sends abundance. And when you think about it, everything revolves around light. The sun provides life with its light. Quantum mechanics is based on the study of light particles called photons. Light allows us to observe and understand the universe. We analyze the light from distant stars and galaxies to learn about their composition, velocity, and distance. Heck, the word enlightenment has the word light right in it. Consider this. The speed of light, approximately 299,792 kilometers per second in a vacuum, is a fundamental constant in the universe. And it's central to Einstein's theory of relativity, where it sets the maximum speed at which information or matter can travel, which is why the universe uses light to provide abundance. So light is kind of a big deal, right? And here's the thing. We all have the ability to connect with the universe's abundance energy field. However, it's harder than ever in modern times to connect with this abundance energy field. In short, it's because our crown chakra is blocked from centuries of not being used. But get this. It's our crown chakra that's responsible for connecting with the universe. And when your crown chakra is fully unblocked, you receive your halo. You are considered enlightened, and the abundance of the universe pours into your life freely. Note, the halo is not visible to the human eye. The light from the halo is a frequency the human eye cannot detect. Ever wonder why ancient depictions of religious figures, Jesus, Buddha, saints, etc., have a halo marked around their heads? Well, that's not a coincidence. And while halos represent an enlightened state, there's much more to it than that. These are invisible energy fields. As it turns out, the halo signifies the ability to manifest abundance. There's a reason why every ancient Eastern religion talks about energy fields or auras. The rainbow body, Tibetan Buddhism. Chakras, Hinduism and Buddhism. Aura, Hinduism. Qi or Qi, Taoism and traditional Chinese medicine. Light in Zen Buddhism. You get the idea. So the ancient monks knew the universe used light to send abundance. But here's the thing. Light has its own frequency. The frequency of light determines its color. In physics, light is considered an electromagnetic wave. And like all waves, it has properties of wavelength, frequency, and speed. So if you know the wavelength of light, you can calculate its frequency, and vice versa, using this equation and the constant speed of light. Why is this important? Because in order to receive abundance from the universe, our auras need to be at a very specific frequency. It's called the halo frequency. When your aura is at this frequency, abundance flows into your life automatically. No effort required on your part. But how to set your aura at the halo frequency? Well, ancient Tibetan monks discovered the answer while chanting one day thousands of years ago. They accidentally discovered a vibrational frequency that matches the halo frequency, which connects directly with the universe. This is what ancient Eastern leaders were talking about when they talked about clearing our chakras. What they were really doing was creating a direct spiritual connection with the universe. The spiritual connection, of course, is the gateway to abundance. But there's something you need to understand. Chanting is an intricate combination of art, science, and spirituality. And even back thousands of years ago, it took about a full decade in a monastery to master the art of chanting, at least to get enough to the halo frequency, which is where you tap into the abundance of the universe. So the monks were looking for an easier way to reach halo frequency. And they found it back in the 1940s during World War II. You see, the U.S. sent spies to Tibet during the war to train a few select monks to resist any potential Japanese invasion. And that's where a handful of monks get their hands on some modern audio technology, which is how they were able to replicate the very specific halo frequency. And they figured out that if you aligned sound waves with the frequency of the light waves creating the halo frequency, you would reach halo frequency and have a direct connection to the abundance of the universe, which means you can manifest unlimited abundance without having to trek all the way to Mount Kailash in Tibet. Instead, you can reach the halo frequency from pretty much anywhere, even your own living room sofa. The fact that you can align light frequencies with an audio frequency is groundbreaking science that only the Tibetan monks could discover. I suspect this was no coincidence. The universe chooses very carefully. As crazy as the whole experience was, I felt a sense of hope. After all, Jinpa seemed genuine, and it did kind of seem like an invisible hand guided me there. So I just came out and asked him, "Where can I hear this halo frequency?" Jinpa smiled warmly and said, "Well, that's the thing. I've been waiting for you to bring me the final piece of the puzzle." As it turns out, Jinpa only had half the equation. He explained that in order to create the halo frequency with sound waves, you had to combine two separate sound frequencies. Problem was, he only knew one of the two frequencies. That's why he was waiting for me for the past 7 years. The universe told Jinpa I would bring the rest of the code when the time was right. I was flabbergasted. I didn't have any sound wave frequencies to share. Hell, I hardly even knew anything about this stuff. After all this, he's telling me that I'm supposed to be the one to figure it out? Feeling frustrated and angry, I told Jinpa I had to go. But first, he handed me a piece of paper with a number on it. It was several decimal places long. So like this, 9.876543, not the real number, just an example. And I was surprised at how specific that number was. He told me to keep a lookout for another number that looks similar. I said, yeah, sure, and left. I figured I'd already wasted enough time with this nonsense and shifted my focus to making money the old-fashioned way. But that night I had another strange dream. The dream took place at the same bookstore where I found the Mount Kailash book. But as I was walking through the aisles, the lights inside kept getting brighter and brighter, until eventually I buried my face in my hand with my eyes closed, trying to block it out. And that's when I woke up, dripping wet from sweat again. So the next day, I decided to head to the bookstore. I guess curiosity got the best of me. But boy, am I glad I did. Because as I was walking through the aisles, a book fell out and onto my toe again. The same toe that was almost crushed by the Mount Kailash book. At first I was pissed. How could this happen again? And to the same toe? But when I bent down to pick the book up, I was stunned. It was sitting open to a random page from the fall. And as I picked it up, I noticed something highlighted with a bright yellow highlighter. It was a number that looked a lot like the one Jinpa gave me. And when I checked, it had the same exact number of decimal places. So again, it looked like this. 9.876543. As hard as it was to believe, it seemed like the universe sent it to me. The dreams, the books falling on my toe, the mysterious monastery, and Jinpa's story were all a bit too much to be considered a coincidence. The cool thing is, my roommate from college was a sound engineer and still lived nearby. So I called him up and asked if he could whip up a couple audio tracks. He was taken aback by how specific the frequencies were, but said he could pull it off. Next thing I knew, I had my audio tracks with the exact frequencies needed to reach halo frequency. And for the next couple days, I listened to both of them simultaneously for hours on end. But instead of seeing unlimited abundance flow into my life, I was actually struggling more than ever. My car got towed after I unknowingly parked too close to a fire hydrant. I had to go to the ER after slipping in the tub and breaking my foot, and even got a notice from the state of Connecticut that I was being audited. At that point, I was ready to forget the whole thing. Clearly, it was just a load of BS. I felt foolish for ever chasing such a crazy thing. I had half a mind to go tell Jinpa off for wasting my time, but I'd have to figure out how to scrape up enough cash to get my car out of impound first. So I just decided to move on with my life and focus on getting a job. I sat on my front stoop watching the end of a rainstorm when the most beautiful rainbow I'd ever seen appeared, and as I was admiring its beauty, I thought about it. Rainbows are made up of several different colors, and yet they're all still separate while staying together as one. And then it hit me. What if I listened to the audio frequencies at the same time, but separately, kind of like the rainbow? After all, I had 2 ears, and I could listen to each track separately in each ear. I had the new tracks made up immediately and tried out my theory. That night, I fell asleep while listening to the frequencies. And what happened was nothing short of remarkable. First, I got a call from an insurance agency offering me a job as director of operations, which was double the salary I was making in my old job. And get this, it came with a $2,500 signing bonus, which meant I could get my car out of impound. But on the way to get my car, I stopped to get a Mountain Dew and randomly decided to buy a $1 scratch-off lotto ticket. Well, I won the grand prize of $5,000 from that one ticket. And then when I picked up my car, I found a brown paper bag with $18,000 cash in it. I still don't know where that money came from, but one thing was clear. I'd reached halo frequency. As it turns out, these 2 little differences were key. 1, listening to the frequencies separately and simultaneously is required to reach halo frequency. 2, listening to them at night while I was falling asleep allowed my mind to fully accept the changes these frequencies were trying to make. I decided to drive down to the monastery to share the incredible news with Jinpa. But when I arrived, the monastery was gone. It had been demolished and there were no signs the place ever existed. I never saw Jinpa again. But before I drove away, a rainbow appeared over where the old monastery stood, and at that moment I knew what Jinpa had told me was true. The universe doesn't make mistakes. But what to do with this powerful information I had? Jinpa made it clear that he wanted to share this with the world. So I decided to give the halo frequency to my cousin. He'd never accomplished much in his life and worked as a garbage truck driver since high school. But after he tried the halo frequency, his entire life changed. He's now married to a real-life swimsuit model, lives in a luxury penthouse in Miami, and spends most of his time jetting around the globe. I let a few other family members try it, and one by one, an abundance started flowing into their lives with no explanation, and even better, with no effort on their part. After seeing these life-changing things, I knew it was time to release this to the public. And that's why I'm so thrilled to introduce you to the halo frequency. It's the only program on the planet that helps you fully unblock your crown chakra and reach peak manifestation state, aka halo frequency, which means you'll have a direct spiritual connection with the universe, allowing abundance to flow into your life with zero effort on your part, just the way the universe intended, which is pretty interesting when you think about it. The universe wants to give us abundance without asking for anything in exchange. Just think of all the ways modern society pushes on us to earn abundance. Going to universities for 8 years and sacrificing your whole life as a starving student, all while going 6 figures in debt. Filling every moment of your free time with side hustles just so you can have a few extra $100 at the end of the month. Want to attract a partner? Modern society sells us liposuction, plastic surgery, and diet pills that can kill us. And don't even get me started on the law of attraction gurus. But the good news is you don't have to worry about any of this, because the truth is finally revealed, and the halo frequency does everything for you automatically. I know this because I'm experiencing it myself, and have seen thousands of others do the same, like Andy from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I never really believed in any type of spirituality, but the universe has convinced me otherwise. It's hard to ignore that I live in a mansion in the Hollywood Hills now. I can tell you that my job as a forklift driver for 12 years didn't make that happen. I only wish I'd found the halo frequency sooner. And then there's Melissa from Sacramento, California. I always suspected that humans were born with the power to manifest abundance. But after following so many fake gurus and coming away with nothing, I gave up hope. To be honest, I didn't even want to give the halo frequency a shot. But boy, am I glad I did. I finally met the love of my life, and we own an extremely profitable winery in Oregon. My lifelong dream. And I'll never forget Brenda from Birmingham, Alabama. I was a single mom who was about to lose my kids because I couldn't afford to support them. Then my friend told me about the halo frequency, and while I was completely skeptical at first, it was hard to ignore the crazy things happening in her life. Now my kids go to a private school while I play tennis all day. Life is truly beautiful. Okay, so right now you may be thinking, sounds amazing, but how exactly do I use the halo frequency? And I love answering that question because it's so simple. All you have to do is press play on your digital audio track right before you go to sleep at night. And that's it. The sound frequencies do all the work for you by automatically clearing your crown chakra, allowing you to reach halo frequency. Pretty sweet, huh? But I have to warn you about something right now. There are some powerful gurus out there who are pretty upset with me for making this info public. And right at this very moment, they are devising ways to crash this website. Unfortunately, most of the wealthy people who know about the halo frequency do not want this getting out to the public. They are hell-bent to keep a stranglehold on their wealth, and they don't want to share it with you. I tell you this because this website is the only place you can find the halo frequency, but I'm not sure how much longer this will be on the internet. So if you think the halo frequency sounds like something you're even remotely interested in, I recommend you not leave this page until you've secured your copy. And listen, I just want to get something out of the way right now. I'm not here to get rich off of this. This isn't mine to own. This is the fruit of the work put in by highly spiritual monks over thousands of years. I would never even be in this position if it weren't for the silent hand of the universe and the generosity of Jinpa. And while I don't know what became of him, I like to think sharing this in his memory is the right thing to do. Besides, I already have all the wealth and abundance I'll ever need thanks to the halo frequency. So while a ton of people have told me I could command thousands of dollars for this, I won't be asking you to pay anything near that. In fact, I'm not even interested in making a profit off of this. All I ask is that you pitch in to keep this website going and to keep my small staff paid, which means you can get your own copy of the Halo frequency for $39 today. All you have to do is click the button that just appeared below this video. When you do, you'll be taken to my 100% safe and secure checkout page where you'll enter your order info. Once you hit submit on your order form, I'll send you an email with a digital copy of the Halo frequency. It usually takes around 10 minutes to arrive, which is great because it saves you another $10.99 in shipping. But I've decided to sweeten the deal to reward you for taking action today. So when you place your order for the Halo frequency, you'll also get 3 free bonuses. Free gift number 1, the nap frequency. After testing out the Halo frequency on a bunch of people, I started seeing the same request over and over again. Folks wanted a shorter version of the audio frequency to put on their phones and other mobile devices, and a surprising number of people wanted this short version to use for quick naps during the day. That's why I created a 15-minute version of this powerful audio frequency called the nap frequency. It's perfect for when you're on the go, and it's yours free when you get the Halo frequency today. Free gift number 2, guided abundance code. Here is a specific meditation I created after getting feedback from some of our beta testers. Turns out there are quite a few people out there who really like guided meditations. And while the Halo frequency isn't a meditation, there are tons of folks out there who really just prefer a guided visualization with their audio frequency. And that's why I'm including the guided abundance code as a free gift for you today. It's another short 10-minute version of the audio frequency, but with guided visualizations added in. Just another tool for you to use if you'd like. Free gift number 3, Halo frequency booster. The bottom line is, every one of us is different, which means it takes a different amount of time for each of us to connect with the abundance of the universe. But, along the way, I discovered a frequency that accelerates your connection with the universe. And if you listen to this frequency for at least 15 minutes a day in addition to the Halo frequency, it will help accelerate the activation of your crown chakra. I call it the Halo frequency booster, and it's the 3rd free gift I'm including when you say yes to the Halo frequency. Okay, so you'll get all 3 of those amazing bonuses for free when you place your order today, which means you'll get $502 worth of life-changing programs for only $39. Talk about a no-brainer. But I want to make this an even easier decision for you today. So I'm doing something kind of crazy to make this a true no-brainer for you right now, which is why I'm giving you a 100% money-back guarantee when you say yes to the Halo frequency today. And while I'm certain that this program will completely change the trajectory of your life, I'll refund every penny if you aren't satisfied with your experience. Which means you get an entire year to take the Halo frequency on a test drive before you have to make a decision. I've decided to shoulder all the risk here to ensure I get this out to as many people as I can before the powers that be shut down this website for good. So go ahead and click the button below to secure your copy right now. Once you leave this page, I cannot guarantee that you'll ever have this opportunity again. And listen, I just want to be real here. The universe doesn't make mistakes. You and I both know you landed on this website for a reason today. You've struggled all your life because the truth about the universe's abundance has been hidden from you. It's not your fault. But now that you know the truth, why wouldn't you try something different? That something different is the Halo frequency I told you about in this video today. But it's up to you to take action. The universe has led you as far as it can on its own. So go ahead and click the button below now. And just one last warning that once you leave this page, you will never have this opportunity again. So if you even think you might want to try the Halo frequency, click that button and try it 100% risk-free. Your future self will be eternally grateful you did. This is the end of this video. Still here, I see. I don't blame you. We covered a lot in today's video, and I know you might have some questions. So I'm going to go ahead and answer some of the most commonly asked questions that we get about the Halo frequency. Question: I've tried other manifestation programs based on the law of attraction. They didn't work. What makes this one any different? Answer: this is not based on the law of attraction. This is a scientifically proven method that connects you to the universe through the power of light waves. And in the end, science is just proving Eastern spiritual leaders have known for years, although back then they just talked about chakras. Question: how is my personal information protected? Answer: we hired some of the best encryption experts on the planet to protect your information. Most of them have day jobs working for the government, and they use 256-bit encryption technologies using Secure Sockets Layer (SSL), which means your info is 100% secure, backed by the best technology available today. Question: how does the guarantee work? Answer: when you say yes to the Halo frequency today, you are doing so 100% risk-free, because I'm giving you an entire year to decide if you're happy with your results or not. If at any time in the next 365 days, you feel that your life has not improved drastically, simply email my support team and we'll refund 100% of your investment on the spot. Question: how soon should I expect results? Answer: well, every person is different, so the answer isn't the same for everybody. Some have experienced massive results as soon as the first day. Others have taken months to receive their halo. I recommend using it every day for a full month before getting too worried about it.